And Sham Palamaki, thank you guys for sharing here tonight. Floor is yours.
Nice. Thanks, Tim. Like you said, we do not have the corner of all truth in this, but we're just going to share from our perspective of some things we did that, like Tim was saying, that did not work, and some things that are working very well. And most of those are the things that were recommended to me by Tim and Amy. So that's kind of point number one. If the person that you're working with or that introduced this to you that has some success, if they're a manager or above or they're working with somebody in that zone and they tell you to do something, it's because they know it works. They have no interest in you losing at this. So I tried to take everything Tim told me, even there was stuff I didn't want to do. But I thought, well, if Tim's going to tell me that, then I should really do it and just at least prove him wrong before I go back to him, you know? So at least give it the old college try with Tim's method, and then when it doesn't work, I'll tell him. But the problem was that it started working exactly like he told us. So then there's another problem. So I think I'm just going to explain kind of the principles of contacting somebody and inviting somebody to see this technology. Sham will kind of share how she approaches people, and I'll do the same thing. But I think the biggest thing is to start out with principles. One principle is that excitement is going to be bigger than information with this. So if you're excited about it, and like when we saw this from Tim and Amy, I was I was cautiously optimistic, and I said, "Sham, what do you think?" And she said, "We should do this." And I was like, "What are you talking about? If you knew our history, that would have shocked you too." But she said, "I think we should try this." And so we did, and we ordered the patches, and Tim sent us information, some podcasts and some interviews with David Schmidt and some links to testimonies. And we were looking at it and we were watching it and getting, frankly, really excited about that this might actually work like they said it would. But we were very much in hope stage in the beginning because I didn't know, I didn't have a testimony, we didn't even have our patches yet. We were contacting people before we even got our shipment of patches. And so first people we reached out to was the people closest to us. I think I called my mom and dad, and I called my sister, and I talked to a friend, and we had several people on Thursday night, 8 o'clock Zoom meeting, which you all have access to. And one of those people actually enrolled and got an advanced starter pack, and we were excited, like this is going to work. And then we got really smart and we're like, hey, if it worked that easy, let's just take this stuff that Tim sent us after we were already saw the Zoom and let's just send it to people. I could just send this to my friend. I could send him a video. He'll for sure watch it because he's my friend. And he's not going to ghost me or not call me back or and what happened was he ghosted me and then they never called me back. And then yeah, no, I'll get to the video, no problem. And as soon as it leaves your phone and goes to theirs, and then they get 12 more text messages and it's down on a feed somewhere and they just don't watch it. So sending videos, sending information to people without them seeing the full picture of this does not work. We can tell you that 100%. You will waste your time, and even worse, you're going to shortcut getting all of the information to a person that could really use this technology to help them, to help them. You will shortcut them from seeing it. And so those two things are reason why you should really aim to just book a Zoom meeting with these people that you want to get in front of this. Um, One thing, there's a couple things you don't want to do. Well, you want to be bright, you want to be brief, you want to be gone. So when you're contacting somebody about this, it's not a long process. It needs to be real quick, short to the point in order to book a 30-minute Zoom with somebody. And I was anti-Zoom, I was anti-technology. I was like, I just get with people face to face. And Tim's like, please show the Zooms, show the Zooms. And so I had to get Zoom up on my computer and figure out how to even use this, but it helped in the contact because all we ever do is talk to somebody about getting on a 30-minute Zoom call. And somebody will even help you do that. So be bright, be brief, be gone. Do not talk to people about the business. Do not talk to people about making money with this. Can you make money with this? Yes. Can you do it as a business? Heck yes. But that approach is not, it's really hard, first of all, to talk to people about a business today. In today's world, it's always been hard to talk to them about a business, but it's especially hard today to talk to people about a business. We have the best technology, one of one, patented technology that's literally helping tons of people. So lead with the technology, lead with the stem cell reactivation. Do not talk about a business. That's what I would say. That is my recommendation, Tim's recommendation. The people that are making this work in this team are leading with the product, the technology. Um, so what to say? I'm going to have Sham just tell you how she approaches people first, and then I'll tell you my contact. We have very different groups of people. Sham has a lot of current relationships, people that she sees on a daily basis, people that she's talked to recently, and those are most of the people that she's approaching with this. My list is more, probably 10% that and 90% people I haven't talked to or seen or even sometimes communicated with in 5, 10, or 20 years. So I have a totally different approach than Sham in some ways. So I'm going to just have her tell you how she approaches people. She's got a phenomenal Zoom to approach, contact to Zoom rate is phenomenal. And the people that she has brought on the Zooms are almost everybody's excited about it. I mean, literally to a person, almost everybody. In fact, it's so everybody. I can only think of one or two people really that she's ever booked a Zoom with that weren't excited about this. So I'm gonna give you to Sham.
Okay. So, yes, we have tried different ways of approaching people. And like Nick said, we sent them videos when we were first started and it didn't work. So we quickly, like, we don't want to run through our whole list of people and people we know and do it wrong. So we took Tim and Amy's advice and we get them on a Zoom. So my approach is, I call them and I say, the reason I'm calling, I have a quick question for you. And I ask them the question, what do you know about stem cell therapy? And then I'm quiet. And sometimes I get, well, what do you mean? What do you mean stem cell? And I said, well, like in what regard, they ask. And I say, well, in overall health, what do you know about stem cell therapy? And then I'm quiet again and I let them, well, you'll get a couple different things. A couple times I've gone, I love stem cell therapy. I'm way into peptides. And I was like, what? I was shocked. I was like, great, good. You know more than I know. And then there's times I'm like, well, people say, well, I've heard about this and I've heard about this injection. You'll get all the gamut of all the different things. So then, my whole point of asking that question is to be relatable. I try to like, how can I relate in some way? How can I connect with them? If someone says, they're way into copper peptides, they're way into this technology, I compliment them. I'm like, great, good for you, no more than I ever did. So, and so then I say, well, the reason I'm asking that is because we had some great friends of ours we've known for over 20 years share with us stem cell technology, and we want to share it with you. We're so excited about it. And then I ask, would you be open to getting on a Zoom call with us and we'll share the information with you? And I would say 9 out of 10 times, the person on the other end is like, sure. And then it's a matter of setting a time. So I'm excited about the stem cell product. I'm excited about the therapy. I don't typically talk about a patch, true confessions. There's probably times I talk way too much because I'm a woman. But that's basically what I say. I ask them a question and then I let them share. And then I say, this is the reason I want to share it with you. We're really excited about it. And I think you will be too.
Yep. And so really both of our goals is always just book the Zoom. And she's great with that. So Sham will come home and go, hey, we got a Zoom lined up for Monday. Hey, we have a Zoom this day. Hey, we have a Zoom. I've never heard anything different than, hey, we got a Zoom. And so that is the goal. Personally, I will never say anything in my approach that has to do with LifeWave, X39, or even patches. And the reason why I do that and I avoid those words specifically is because I don't want that to give them Google material before we ever get together. I want them to see this fully with an open mind, really knowing nothing. I mean, I prefer them to know nothing because then they come in just like we did. I'm going to watch these people, get the information, and see what I think. And I'll tell you what, the plan that Tim has put together with the slides and the order and how to communicate this technology to somebody is phenomenal. And so I want them to see it that way in its entirety without judgment. And so I avoid those words. I just don't want them doing research before we get together. So could they find a bunch of good stuff on there? Yeah, and then they can find some Reddit thread that tells them this and that and the other thing. I'm not interested in that. I don't want to have a debate. I want them to see this and then just say, "Hey, what do you think?" Um, so my contact, personally, if I am seeing them face to face, I'll say very much like what Sham did. I contacted two people that way today. Hey, what do you know about stem cells? Do you know anything about stem cell technology, stem cell therapy? No, really don't. I don't know, just enough to be dangerous. I mean, they'll say a bunch of things, but almost nobody really knows about it. So I always tell them, well, the reason why I ask is I had a buddy of mine get a hold of us and give me access to a stem cell technology, and it is helping tons of people. Now, you can also get specific if you know that person well. Like I was talking to a young guy today. I know he was in a motorcycle accident a year ago, 2 years ago. He missed almost a year of work. I said, "How's your leg? How's your hip, from your accident?" He said, "They're killing me. My back hurts every day, my knee hurts, and this is a young guy." And I said, "Man, I've got this stem cell technology that I found, and it is helping people with those conditions like you wouldn't believe. I could get you this information in like 30-minute Zoom call." He goes, "Great, awesome. That would be great." And he said, "Whoa, whoa, wait a minute. Is this like one of them $20,000 deals?" I was like, "Absolutely not. It's a wearable technology. We're not talking about injections, and this is completely, you could totally afford this, Max." And he's like, "Man, I would love to hear about it." So he's going to be on the call on Thursday. So we booked that time for him to be on the call on Thursday. Then I was talking to another guy today who's a multimillionaire. He's about to buy his third company for $50 million. He was on the phone talking with guys that are going to send him $2 million each so they can invest in a logistics company. And so I'm talking to a young kid that's broke, talking to this guy that's as wealthy as anyone that I know. And same approach. So, Chris, what do you know about stem cell technology? Man, I know just enough to be dangerous. And I told him him and his wife are having some conditions, and boom, they want to get on a Zoom as well. So it's the same all the time. What do you know about stem cells? What do you know about stem cell therapy? Hey, I came across this amazing technology. It's helping tons of people. I know you would be interested. You really need to see this. When can we get on a Zoom call for 30 minutes? Sometimes you'll have people say, "Well, I want to know what it is. I want to do a little bit more research before we get together." I found that this works for me well, and I'll just say, "Hey, I can give you what this is, so much information about what this is, but I have to explain to you how this works and why this works before you're going to understand any of the what this is." So if we can get 30 minutes, I can explain to you how this works and why it works, and you can have all the information that you want. When do you have 30 minutes? That has worked great. Um, and or if they press me like, "Hey, is this injections? Is this whatever?" I'll always say it's a wearable technology. I won't say patches. I just say it's a wearable technology that reactivates your own stem cells. It's amazing. You got to see this. And that's pretty much it. The way that I contact people that I haven't seen in a long time, which is the majority of my list, I either send this message out on like Facebook Messenger if I don't even have their phone number, or if it's in my phone, I will text them and I'll just say, "Hey, do you have? Hey, what's up, Matt? How you doing? This is Nick. Um, hey, let me know when you have 5 minutes for a quick phone call. I've got a question I need to ask you." And that's it. And I'll just start shooting those texts out. Now, if it's somebody I've done business with in the past that might be a misconception that I'm contacting about a business, I'll literally say, "Hey, let me know when you have 5 minutes for a phone call. I have a health related question I want to ask you." And that works 100% of the time. If I have their number or their right number, 100% of the time they have told me a time to get back to them, or sometimes they'll literally just call me. I'll get a phone call. Nick, what's up? Just got your text, man. What's going on? And so if it's people you haven't seen in a while, you might need to catch up a little bit. Hey, Jeff, how are the kids? How's Will? Whatever. It'd be rude for me to go, hey, what do you know about stem cell? If I haven't seen him in 20 years, and we have some history. So I'll talk to him, chat with him a little bit, and then boom, hey, the reason why I was originally getting together with you, do you know anything about stem cell therapy? Same approach. And sometimes they'll ask me, hey, what was the question you want to ask me? Boom, same approach. Um, and so the whole goal is, again, just book a time. Book a time for a Zoom. Um, so I don't know much else. That's about it. And if you do this, it works. The Zoom rate of people enrolling when they see a full Zoom with the proper contact is through the roof.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so
That was
much.
so good, you guys.
That
Thank
is
you for sharing.
perfect. Absolutely perfect.
I just talked to Sham the other day on the phone, and I love her heart for people. Like, Sham, it was so sweet. You were like, I just want to get this in everybody's hands. I just want everybody to see this. And I know that people hear that in your voice on the phone or whoever you talk to, the passion that you have to help other people feel better. And I know that's part of your success is you really do want to help everybody and everybody to feel better. You think, why wouldn't everybody want this,
Yeah.
So I love that. And I know that comes through.
Yeah.
And
And so,
honestly, this is the easiest thing I've ever had to talk to anybody about.
yeah.
Nobody's negative about stem cells.
Yeah.
Like they just aren't. They don't go, what is this? What's going on? What are you talking about? I
Because
mean,
you're
I
not talking
even
about a business, right? You're never bringing up the business.
Yeah. Now I texted a guy that I was in business with 25 years ago, and he's like, as long as you're not calling me about MLM, you can call me. I said, I promise you, I will not talk to you about MLM or any business.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it, because
plays
I'm
the
not
word.
going to.
Well, so I wrote a couple things down. Um, help you just the way you said a couple things. Like during your contact, you said it's helping tons of people. It's helping tons of people. Now, if somebody listens to this recording, they might say it's helping tons of people. It's really helping tons of people. The voice inflection is important. And a little preparation work you did, I would say know your prospect. You mentioned the guy that had a motorcycle accident. So you knew that about him. Maybe you don't know that about anybody, but if you know the guy's got problems with his feet or his neck's jacked up or whatever, then say, dude, I know this will help you with your neck. I'm pretty confident it'll help you with your neck. Whatever the case is, I think that is so important. And then you said, I can get you all the information you need about this on a 30-minute Zoom. And the way that you say it is so important. What would you say your guys' ratio from the people you reach out to in contact to the people that you get on a Zoom? What is that ratio? Is it pretty high?
It's extremely high. The only way is if they're just a nightmare of a person to like book a time with, which sometimes you're going to run into that.
Yeah.
I think we have found out that if you can book a time during the approach rather than,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, I'm interested. Let's get back if you can set a time right there and then on the approach, we
Yeah.
have better success rate because I've had in the past some chasing people like you said you're interested. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's annoying. I'm annoyed by it. They're probably annoyed with
Yeah.
me, reaching out to them 4 or 5 times. Hey, is this a good time now? So if you can get a time set right there and then, it's best.
Yeah. And I don't think we can say this enough. So let's hit this again. Um, Sending videos to people just because they said, well, just send me something. And then you try to book a Zoom, just send me something. So then, because they're your friends and you know that they're smart, you just send them a video. And then how does that work? And have
It
you
doesn't.
right? We all did it. I think
It doesn't.
Well, and I mean, I have, friends that I work with. Can you just send me information? And I said, well, I could, but it's not going to do anything. It's not going to work well. You're going to get some information. It may not make any sense. It's best if we explain it to you, and then I can share more information with you. So we first need to get on a Zoom call.
Yeah.
So we're really pushing that Zoom call first before we send anything else out.
Yeah,
Mhm. That's good.
that is really good. And I just see so many people there. And we all go through it. So that's why I want to make this video so we can help people avoid the mistakes that some of us made. And thankfully, it wasn't like overly damaging or anything, but I can tell you of at least 4 or 5 people that I sent videos to that I knew 100% for sure it was a good idea. One of them was a doctor, and I still haven't talked to him since. He's gone. You guys would actually know him.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Like, for whatever reason, it's the weirdest thing, but yeah, when you show somebody the actual presentation, they see it, whether you do it yourself or play the video, whatever. I prefer to play the video. You play that whole thing, and at the end, 90% of it, this has been our experience. 90% of the people, here's what they say. We already used the patch. Um, yes, or we don't have money yet, but we'll get it. Those are our only 3 responses. We literally have not got a no
Well,
from
and the
anybody.
people that don't have money right then have literally said, get a hold of me Friday. Like I can think of one woman that said, Saturday, I'm going to give you,
Just got one while Nick was talking, literally. The guy got
I
me
give
this.
you my information Saturday after I get paid. Even those people get back to us and
Yeah,
call us with their information or text, and say, all right, I got paid. I want to get, I didn't forget about you. So like, I don't know that anybody has,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, the person that you talked to today already probably got back to you, right?
yeah,
With that.
absolutely. Yep. So Chuck just asked, he's been asking 20 minutes. So I think half hour is more appropriate. And sometimes you might take a little bit longer than that by the time you take their order and all that stuff. So I think you're better saying, hey, half hour, maybe less, let you got a lot of questions, whatever. Say something like that, maybe, right? Do you guys say half hour, Nick, or what time?
Yeah, I say 30 minutes, 45 if you got a ton of questions. And like the guy today's like, my wife's gonna have a ton of questions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be 45. And I'm like, that's okay. Um, Chuck had also made a good point. He said, I ask if they have 20 minutes right now. Now we've got a guy on our team, James Halter. He coined it contact zooming. So he literally, if he likes to contact when he's got time right then. So if they get excited, he goes, "Hey, let's jump on a Zoom." Instead of sending him information or try to talk to him on the phone, talk him in, which is what I did too. I tried to talk him in over the phone. I can
Yeah.
just show this with my mouth over the phone. That'll be great, and they don't get it. And we had somebody, Debbie, that did the same thing. She's like, man, all this, tons of questions. I said, do you have 30 minutes right now? She goes, yeah, I'm going to figure out how to send you a Zoom. And then we jumped right on then, and she got enrolled like right then. So that's a great thing to do, contact Zooming.
Absolutely. Do it right away.
Also, I just want to make one other point with the texts. If any people out there are overthinkers like I can tend to be, um, you get home or you get a time where you're going to contact some people and you're going to get all these people off your list, and then the torment starts and you start to get a little nervous, and then you're just like, I don't know if I want to do it, and you're doing laps around the kitchen table playing Rocky, like trying to get all pumped up, Eye of the Tiger, hitting yourself in the head like I got to make these calls. It's the best thing in the world to just go, all right, I'm shooting a bunch of texts off, boom, 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 and it's like, well, now I have to talk to them if they get back to me. And
Yeah.
it starts to happen. People start getting back to you, and then you're like, okay, I gotta call this guy. I already told him I was gonna call him, and he told me I could call him now.
Yeah.
So it forces you into action by sending texts.
And so what is the text you say is something like
I'll, I'll read. I'm gonna read three of them. Like I
okay,
literally
perfect.
took screenshots. I'm like, wait a minute. I'll just read what I wrote, and I don't always write the same one every time. It's probably my personality, but Yo, Matt, this is Nick. I have a couple quick questions I need to ask you. One's about your company because I had another question about his company. But will you let me know when's a good time for a 5 minute, 5 to 10 minute phone call? Bam. That's it. That's what I sent it. I sent another one. Hey, brother, do you have time for a quick 5 to 10 minute phone call this afternoon? I'd love to hear how you're doing, and I have a question for you. Hey, I reached out to somebody. Hey, is this still your number? I know you probably have some of those. Hey, is this still your number? Yeah, it is. How are you? We're great. I hope you are too. Let me know if you have time for a call this weekend. I'd love to catch up, and I have a health related question or two for you. That's it.
That's
Those are three of my texts that I've sent out.
and the genius of this is By the way, Nick came up with this. Hey, I have a couple questions to ask you. I would always just ask one question. What do you know about stem cell reactivation? But I would just contact him. So Nick came up with this. I have a couple questions for you. Why is that so good? People love to be asked questions because now they're thinking, yeah, Nick's got some questions for me. All right, yeah, bring it on, baby. I'll tell you what I know.